When most people think of Tomb Kings, they think of skeletons. But these models are the ones I always wanted for my army. Today, we're painting the most iconic unit in the old world, the Tomb Kings Chariots. Welcome to Watchfire Hobbies. So let's grab a brush, settle in. And here are our chariots. These have been primed white like the rest of the army. The crew, actually I did already do. They have been painted the exact same as the rest of the army. The only thing different is that as opposed to bronze highlights, I use gold. We'll get in there because I'll do the gold detail on that. But everything else is actually the exact same as the rest of the army. But first, let's get these horses painted up with some skeleton horde like the rest of the army. So while the contrast on the horses are drying, I'm just going to come in and paint the body of the Chariot's Flesh Tearers red from the GW range. This is what I'm using across the army. Kind of just tie it in visually. Also going to paint the quivers with this. Not being super neat here, I'm going to come back and do the details later, so I can just kind of quickly do this. Obviously trying to keep some of the wood clean, as I will be, coming in and painting that with Carrick stone next. For our next, we're going to cover all of our bronze areas with our Balthazar's gold. This will tie into the rest of the army. Main things on these are going to be the big front spike, because that's going to be fun to hit somebody with. The spokes of the wheels, the spear tips. I'm probably going to do this emblem also. And just a couple of the other little details. Oh, and our Warhammer skull that we need. Just trying to get a solid coat on this. And all the bronze is done. So our next step, we're going to clean up some of that bronze with that overpainting with Carrick stone. This is going to do all the wood. Like so, the inside the chariots, the trim of the chariots, the actual supports and everything. So let's get started. So now we're done with that Carrick stone. We're going to come in and just hit all of the skeleton parts and the Carrick stone with Tyrant Skull. I'm going to just dry brush this. Again, really being careful here to try to not get on anything but the stone or the skeletons, the horses. And there you go. That little dry brush, very quick. Really, I think ties everything together, though. Our next step is we're going to darken our bronze out. Then just some details, and this thing is almost done. Now we're going to come in with our watered down black Templar. Just hit all of our bronze. Again, trying to leave the kind of sharp edge of the blade. So if this guy ever takes somebody down under him, it'll give him a nice little cut there. And again, this is thinned down almost 3:1, to get that nice thin consistency. So we're going to hit all the bronze in here. And next, hit some paddled witch flesh. And our paddled witch flesh is mainly going to go on, our cloths here. There's not a ton of wraps on this model, but I'm just going to do it here. And on the other side of the other quiver, the javelin quiver. I don't think they can actually throw javelins in the game. I mean, that would actually be really cool. Like have a short range, throwing weapon attack. I have to look. I don't believe anybody has that. That would be a really cool thing. I mean, you model it with it. Why don't you actually just give it to them? And there we are. And for our next step, we're going to hit all the eyes with Airman Blue. I actually have to do the crew, too. They just never painted their eyes. So, again, this is just very simple, just a little dot in each eye. It's funny because I've seen a lot of people do, like, purples or reds. I mean, traditionally evil colors. And I know GW says it's an evil faction, but these guys were just alive a couple of years ago. Maybe a little more than like 20 or 100. And, so they would have thought, they would have been the dominant power, and they might have used, very similar magic. Yes, they've been reanimated by Nagash. I know the whole lore, but still, I think they can get by with a little blue eyes. It's perfect. Look at that crewman. He's not going to be glued in yet, but take a look at that, and he's not going to watch it. And here are our chariots before we do our final cleanup and assemble the models. And we're going to use our simple desert base, which is in the playlist, and we'll just tidy these up, and then time for the big reveal. Thank you for spending some of your hobby time with me today. Until next time, enjoy your hobby.